Yes, I know I'm quite late for the party with my opinion. All of the birthday cake has already been eaten, just shiny plates remain, but I have to put my own 5 cents to this huge piggy bank of the American politician shit show. For example, let's take one of the most richest and the most influential person in the world, Elon Musk, and his wonderful social media platform that he calls X, where Elon controls all of the algorithms and really calls for internal confrontation inside the United States of America. But not only his rhetoric is to support far-right elsewhere, in Germany, AfD, Alternate for Deutschland, plus the nationalist movement in UK, where they recently gathered into the huge protests actually, and Elon Musk greeted them from the big screen. Well, actually that protest was more or less peaceful. Yeah, there were a few bully unhinged guys who were apprehended by police, but more or less people were not looking for confrontation. But Elon wants to encourage them for war, and let's check out what he says here.
And then you see how much violence there's on the left, with our friend Charlie Kirk getting murdered in cold blood this week, and people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder and celebrating murder. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. You will have no choice. You're in a fundamental situation here where whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die.
So he calls to fight, yeah, or die. It's the war, confrontation, action, and Elon Musk calls for it not just in the United States, but also elsewhere. The guy who is really an immigrant from South Africa, who has lots of the influence again, is calling for open confrontation, supporting far rights elsewhere. And yes, at the end of the video, it's total cringe.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Great Britain.
What happened there at the end? This guy is nuts. Totally crazy, stupid fuck. And here are his recent posts. The left is party of violence and hate, the left is party of murder. Either we fight back or they will kill us. Also, it seems like he introduced the special measures which might result in account suspension. For example, any excitement to violence, but he says that left is violence, so it means that all of the left accounts will be suspended. By the way, my account was suspended on X not long time ago, or maybe it was just hacked and deleted. I didn't use two-factor authentication on X because this is the shitty platform, to be honest. I really paused there something. I just created a new account because I follow some of the awesome analytics who review the situation in Ukraine. It is interesting for me. It's the only reason for me to keep using this platform. And yeah, just to show you how delusional Elon Musk really is. But what's the real reason of such an aggression from Elon Musk towards lefties or liberals or woke or DEI or something? Well, my own opinion or conspiracy theory, you may say, that Elon Musk doesn't care whether you are left or right. He wants the national division of the governments around the world for him to achieve control over those governments. It's the good old practice of every sort of the confrontation. Divide and control. Divide and control. Like, for example, for Putin and his circle, it would be very profitable for Ukraine to have the internal confrontation, for Ukraine to have internal political instability, protests, and so on. And Russia fuels those narratives, actually, in Ukraine. They work to disturb Ukraine. And that's how Elon Musk, with the help of Twitter, or how he calls it, X, he's doing simply the same stuff. He invested billions into the social media project, so it should pay back with direct corporate control over governments. Governments are institutions that not only regulate our normal civilian life, but also they control businesses with laws and restrictions. For example, here Donald Trump was really angry that European Union fined Google the last week by 3.5 billion, and it happened again. So governments are over those corpus. They may fine, they introduce regulations, like for example Section 301. It applies not just for Google, but for other corpus out there, including businesses of Elon Musk. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Starlink, and so on. Well, the idea of Elon Musk, and not just Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk is out there as the tank that goes forward, full in, but he has the major support from the other billionaires to establish control over population entirely, to dismantle the local elected governments ruling completely, and with that, rights of people. Here I personally use the term technofascism. It is kind of dystopian picture. Actually, you may compare it to the cyberpunk universe or something like that, but we are walking towards that possible future. Because with the current situation worldwide, we see that those billionaires, they get more and more of the influence. And if they don't have what they want, they start to blame governments. Just recall how close friends Elon Musk and Donald Trump were. Donald Trump even advertised Tesla products in the White House. But apparently the black cat ran between them because Elon Musk wanted to establish control over the White House, so United States of America, via Donald Trump. But Donald Trump appeared to be not giving those levers to Elon, and Elon switched to the mad mode, so he became enemies with Donald Trump just in a matter of days. With those tweets like "time to drop the really big bomb," Donald Trump is in Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. And I honestly believe that it was a sincere post, which later on was deleted by Elon, probably under threat. Yeah, by the time he added "mark this post for future," the truth will come out. I also believe that at some point it will come out. The only thing is whether Trump is alive by the time or not, because he's kind of elderly person after all. Under Donald Trump, those will not be released. Well, maybe they will be published by the Russian FSB with all of those videos if Donald Trump does something against Russia. That's another conspiracy theory. Guys, what I say you need to take with a little bit grain of the salt, because those are just my logical assumptions judging on what is happening. And remember what happened later with those Epstein files. Then FBI said that there were no Epstein files, then Donald Trump said that the files were made by Democrats. So what is happening, right? So they fueled it even more, making this post relevant even now. Yeah, it was deleted, but we remember. But this national division is coming not just from billionaires, but from politicians themselves. Let's listen, for example, to President of the United States, Donald Trump.
But I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
So radicals on the right are good radicals because they don't want to see crime, and they are radicalized by lefties in this case. Yeah, later on you'll understand that he mentioned exactly what I say to you.
About the border. They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for...
So it's the national division. Tens of millions of the population in the United States are Democrats, or as Trump calls them, lefties. Well, in this case, Trump is using this rhetoric to gain the popularity of his electorate. He doesn't care about national division he creates. He just reassures his voter that no, do not deviate. Continue to support Donald Trump. Continue to vote for Republican Party, which is now controlled by the MAGA cult. That actually spreads violence towards people of different beliefs, different sexual orientations and political opinions, sometimes even color of skin. As for example, we heard some of the racist remarks from Charlie Kirk, who was cancelled. You may find all of those videos in. Then he doubted the qualification even of the black pilots, yeah, commercial pilots who are black. It's just one case, one example. If you are not straight Republican American man, you'll be bullied by MAGA. They'll hate you for sure, and hate creates hate, and finally it leads to violence, which is over-exaggerated in social media. So I think that the main reason why Elon Musk stopped this confrontation directly with Donald Trump, that Elon Musk is looking to achieve his goal, fueling this national division. So Donald Trump, whether he understands it or not, probably he doesn't understand because he is an idiot, he plays in favor of those corporations. And those corporations, they don't care about United States in general, like a country, because they are transnational corporations. So lowering United States economy, United States power is pretty much okay for them, because money, wealth and everything will be resupplied to different states where they may also earn. Also, you might recall the complaints about the national debt of the United States of America, which is, record high. But still, United States economy is capable to handle that, and what Elon Musk calls is to pay it back as fast as possible, which means basically the collapse of the current financial system of the United States of America and less influence of dollar around. Because if you stop printing machine, you cancel the United States dollar as the reserve currency at once. Because investors will not put their money into instability. That's why China is rising now. Because with China's constant dictatorship regime and massive production, they're pretty much attractive. Unfortunately, the markets of China are open, but they have their own firewalls and restrictions of human rights. Actually, corpos, they want to do the same. They want us to live in dictatorship elsewhere, but controlled by not governments, but by corporations. So you understand what I mean, So the future perspective to get social credits depends on how you behave, whether you are loyal to corporations and the government controlled by them. Well, it may define the way you live. It is called fascism. And in a modern perspective, it's the techno-fascism. Tech support, make America great again. So I'm gonna use MAGA to introduce what I really need. To fuse all of the people, every individual in this planet to the tech system. That sounds dystopian, but that is what they really want to achieve. I mean, they, not just Elon Musk, but his friends, billionaires too. I don't like Snowden because he betrayed his country for the Russian interest, and Russia is our enemy right now. But here what he says is actually truth. I mean, about the digital control of your life.
They can see everything about you, they can see everything about what your device is doing, and they can do whatever they want with your device. You, on the other hand, owned the device. Well, rather, you paid for the device. But increasingly, these corporations own it. Increasingly, these governments own it. And increasingly, we are living in a world where we do all the work, right? We pay all the taxes. We pay all the costs. But we own less and less.
Well, in this particular statement, I agree with him 100%. And corpos, via those phones, they're more and more influencing our lives. Not just our habits to purchase something, then you get annoyed sometimes, advertisements, then you go on websites and so on, but your entire personality could be changed with the help of the influence of those corporations and governments via this device. Because most of the people are in the social media, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, so you get recommendations based on what? On your preferences, and those preferences actually could be changed by those corpos again. With the help of some of the influencers, you can either support one side, other side, you can be angry, you can be sad, joyful, whatsoever. And all of that is again controlled. Well, not directly by controlled. I think that if you don't have YouTube Premium now, you watched at least some of the advertisements posted here by Google. So even though I don't work for Google directly, but I'm also in the system and I cannot run away because it is my full-time job. And there is no any activity in the world that would not be connected to some of the corporations. So we'll see less and less of the influence of governments and more corporate influence. I understand that I'll get some of the hate for this video as usual, but I speak what I think and I call everyone to settle down because your own people in your country, they're not your enemies. Yes, they might believe in different stuff, and yes, they might like people from the same gender. They might not like politicians that you like, for example, Donald Trump, who creates the national division of the United States. This confrontation in society is basically fueled from above, and what they want you is not to look up. Alright guys, it was my video podcast. If you like it, press your like to this video. If you do not like it, press dislike. It's also okay for me. It's fine. I'm ready for critics and for your comments below. Have a great time. Ciao.